You don't need an oven to make a delicious apple pie. I'm going to start by cutting the apples. I've already peeled them. Now I'm going to remove this central part. I take out the core and seeds. I do the same with the other apple. After removing the seeds, I cut the apples like this. Cut the pieces evenly. You can cut them to the size you prefer. With the apples ready, I set them aside. Now in the pan, I add 2 tablespoons of butter. I let it melt completely. I add 2 tablespoons of sugar. I mix well to combine it with the butter. Now I add the apples to the pan. I spread them out well and stir gently. I let them cook until they caramelize slightly. This process enhances the flavor of the apples. They've started releasing liquid. Look, that means they are cooking well. I keep the heat low and let them cook for a few more minutes until they soften. In a bowl, I add 1 egg and 2 tablespoons of sugar. I add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This will give the batter a special flavor. I mix well until smooth. It's important to beat the egg well at this stage. Now I add 2 tablespoons of oil. I incorporate 2/3 of a cup of plain yogurt. I mix again to combine everything. This will make the batter soft and delicious. I mix until I get a uniform texture. Now I add the flour. It's 1 1/4 cups of flour. I sift it to avoid lumps. I mix well until the flour is fully incorporated. Now I add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I stir gently to keep it fluffy. This batter is simple and very easy to make. Now that the batter is ready, I go back to the apples. I add 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. The apples are already cooked and soft. I mix well to distribute the flavor. The cinnamon gives it an incredible aroma. Now I pour the batter over the apples. I spread it out well to cover everything evenly. I smooth out the surface to make it level. Now I cover the pan. I let it cook on low heat until it sets. And our recipe is almost ready. The batter is cooked and firm. I run a spatula along the edges. Now, with the help of a plate, I'm going to flip it over. I carefully place it back into the pan. This way, I make sure it's completely unstuck. I cover it again to brown the other side. I leave it on low heat for 5 more minutes. This time is enough to finish cooking it. 5 minutes have passed. Now it's golden and ready to serve. I turn off the heat and cut a slice. It's super fluffy and delicious. An easy and delicious recipe. I cut a piece to show you. Look how soft the batter is. Now I transfer it to a plate. And now the best part? Let's taste this delight. Skillet apple pie. Fluffy and irresistible.